Welcome back to Dinar Community Channel. What if I told you the Iraqi dinar revaluation isn't years away, it's already unfolding behind closed doors? Banks are preparing, systems are live, and silent wealth transitions have already begun, but most investors are still asleep. This is your final warning, because by the time the world finds out, it might be too late for you to act. There comes a moment in every financial journey when you must stop chasing rumors and start preparing for results. For Iraqi dinar IQD investors, that moment is now. We are at the threshold of something that, for years, was whispered in closed rooms, dissected in underground forums, and doubted by mainstream analysts. The revaluation of the Iraqi dinar, an event that has captivated, misled, enriched, and confused investors worldwide, is no longer a theoretical future. It's morphing into a concrete financial transformation right before our eyes. And yet, many still don't recognize how close we truly are. For over a decade, this space has been crowded with speculation. Dates came and went, projected rates changed by the hour, and every minor news event from Baghdad sent shockwaves through social media. Many walked away exhausted, others doubled down in faith. Some merely watched and waited. But here's the truth, this isn't about belief anymore. It's about positioning. The clock isn't ticking toward possibility. It's ticking toward inevitability. This final warning isn't based on hope. It's based on signs, real, strategic movements from banks, governments, and global financial systems that no longer dance around the idea of revaluation but rather prepare for its execution. It's about infrastructure, compliance systems, digital frameworks, and wealth management divisions aligning to serve what's about to unfold. And if you're not ready, the wealth window might swing open and slam shut before you even know it arrived. Let's start with what's happening behind closed doors. Over the past 12 months, global banks have quietly positioned themselves for foreign currency restructuring. JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, HSBC, and Standard Chartered have been observed hiring foreign exchange specialists and updating systems to allow real-time rate shifts in exotic currencies. Dinar has appeared in internal memos. Not public statements, yet, but in back-end exchange simulations and policy reviews. This is not conspiracy. This is preparation. What's even more alarming is how quickly things could unfold when the trigger is pulled. If you've been envisioning a slow rollout or a public service announcement to give you ample time to act, think again. The global financial world doesn't operate like a friendly neighbor, it moves like a machine. When the IQD rate changes internationally, the ripple effect across markets will be near instantaneous. And exchanges, especially structured private redemptions, will be carefully timed, potentially brief, and highly controlled. Those not already in position may find themselves locked out or funneled into less advantageous paths. Consider this, Iraq has already taken significant steps toward currency sovereignty. The central bank has reduced its dependency on the US dollar in trade settlements. It has increased gold reserves, entered new bilateral agreements, and stabilized domestic inflation. All of this is happening under the radar of most mainstream investors. But to those paying attention, these are unmistakable preconditions to a revalued currency. You don't restructure your monetary system this aggressively unless you're preparing to reintroduce your currency on a global scale. There's also the geopolitical backdrop. Iraq is no longer the fractured state it was post-2003. It has aligned with regional powers, restructured debt, and enhanced diplomatic ties. The IMF, World Bank, and BIS have all reported positive signals about Iraq's financial governance. So while the news headlines are fixated on chaos and conflict, the financial plumbing is being upgraded in silence. That silence is your final cue. Too many investors treat the IQD like a lottery ticket, either it'll hit or it won't. That mindset is a recipe for disaster. This isn't a gamble, it's a strategic play. And like all strategic plays, timing, awareness, and readiness determine the outcome. If you wait until you see it in the headlines, you may already be too late. Let's talk numbers. Quiet whispers from key financial sources suggest a target rate anywhere from $3.50 to $6.20, depending on oil stabilization and geopolitical alignment. While skeptics argue against such high figures, they ignore historical context. The Iraqi dinar traded above $3 in the 1970s and 1980s. Adjusted for inflation, strategic oil positioning, and global debt, those numbers are not only plausible, they're structurally supportable. But again, this isn't about the rate. It's about whether you'll be ready when it happens. One of the greatest dangers right now is complacency. Many IQD holders bought their currency years ago and then mentally checked out. They stopped reading. They stopped preparing. They let their awareness slip into a dormant state. These are the investors most at risk, not because they don't believe in the RV, but because they've forgotten that timing and strategy are everything. Here's what most people miss. The window of exchange will not last forever. There will be early redemptions, private contracts, tiered access points, and eventually a public rate rollout. But the most lucrative paths, the ones offering contract rates or higher tier benefits, will be invitation only or appointment based. If you haven't prepared your documentation, secured your assets, and familiarized yourself with redemption protocols, you may be funneled into the lowest payout brackets without even realizing it. Moreover, as we enter this final phase, scams will skyrocket. Fake exchange centers, phishing emails, fraudulent redemption appointments, these will flood the landscape the moment the dinar goes live internationally. Why? Because where there's sudden wealth, there's sudden danger. Without discernment, you could exchange at a fraudulent site, give up your IQD, and never see the money. Or worse, fall victim to legal entrapments for attempting to exchange through illegitimate channels. Protecting yourself requires vigilance, research, and verification. This is also the time to get serious about post-exchange planning. Receiving a windfall is one thing. Keeping and growing it is another. Most millionaires from windfalls go broke in less than 5 years. The wealth destruction is swift because it follows the same pattern. No plan, no team, no discipline. If you don't have a post-exchange plan, including tax strategy, wealth management, legal protection, and philanthropic goals, you're flying blind into a financial storm. The psychological preparation is just as critical. Many are emotionally tied to the IQD RV. It's not just an investment, it's a hope for freedom, escape from debt, and a legacy for future generations. That emotional charge can cloud judgment. When it hits, adrenaline will spike. The temptation to rush, flaunt, and overspend will be immense. But this isn't a lottery celebration. This is the first day of your new financial reality. If you approach it with the wrong mindset, you could burn through generational wealth in months. Some are already seeing the early shifts. Quiet bank invitations, sudden buyback offers, increased interest in IQD trade desks. These soft signals often precede a larger wave. Those who've networked, listened closely, and documented everything will have first access. It's a shadow network of financial awareness that rewards only the prepared. Still think this is a fantasy? Ask yourself this. Why would central banks around the world be holding meetings on cross-border payments and de-dollarization strategies? Why would Iraq be installing biometric ATMs, converting to digital currency frameworks, and auditing national reserves with such precision? Why would major US and UK banks suddenly allow IQD placeholders in internal systems? The signs aren't hidden. They're just not publicized. And they're not for the masses. They're for the ones who stayed alert. So here's the truth no one wants to admit. You're closer than you think. This revaluation may not scream its arrival. It may not wait for your readiness. It will likely arrive quietly, hit fast, and create a fork in the road. One path for those who prepared, one for those who didn't. This is your final warning. Check your reserves. Verify your sources. Prepare your exit strategy. Secure your redemption plan. Build your team, legal, financial, tax, and legacy advisors. Review your documents. Consider trusts, asset protection, and estate structures. Start visualizing your future with clarity, not fantasy. The world you've been waiting for isn't years away. It's days away, maybe hours. This is not the time to sit back. It's time to lean in, double-check everything, and prepare to move like your future depends on it, because it does. The window is opening. Your destiny is knocking. Will you answer with confidence, or miss it entirely? You're closer than you think. Like and subscribe for more videos.